When you look at I guess the timing of this, though, Greg, as well, coming less than a fortnight away from the first Trump-Albanese meeting, is it also the Prime Minister wanting to keep a bit back for those talks and that negotiation to say, rather than just to be forward-leaning in terms of the demands from Hegseth?
Well, that's possible, but it's hard to trust anything the government tells you on defence. For example, we only found out that Hegseth had asked Miles for 3.5% of GDP to be spent on defence through a Pentagon briefing, because the Albanese government never levels with you on defence, never gives you a speck of information. It's doing its best to suppress the Australian Strategic Policy Institute because it provides independent analysis of their expenditure. But I wouldn't blame the Trump administration at all if they got really tough with the Albanese government. We are, so Britain, which has got this massive increase in defence spending, has its own independent nuclear deterrent and is surrounded by allies, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, similar-sized countries with big armed forces. We are all alone. We have no allies near us.
Yeah.
We have the most formidable strategic competitor in the history of the world in China. But we're a rich country. There's a lot that we could do to defend ourselves with asymmetric capacity, missiles and drones. We've made no investment in drones, no investment in counter-drone capabilities. We're doing none of that at all. Now, I think Albanese is scared of meeting Trump in the White House, because just imagine the two of them sitting there and somebody says to the president, well, Mr. Trump, do you think Australia, which spends a measly 2% of its GDP on defence, while America spends 3.5% and defends Australia, do you think that's good enough? Trump would say, no, that's a disaster. And Albanese would either have to have a fight with him or he'd have to give in and do something real on defence. And I think that's a nightmare scenario for Albanese.
We've only got a minute left, but I want to get your thoughts on this, because this is a dilemma that's been put to me by those that watch this space closely, and it's how, even if we did bump it up to 3.5%, Greg, how do we get the personnel sufficient to make sure that that money is well spent?
Well, we probably couldn't get to 3.5 quickly. We could certainly get to 2.5 quickly. The defence recruits unbelievably inefficiently. One of my own sons was interested in a career in defence, but it takes nearly 300 days between contacting the Defence Force and being accepted into the Defence Force. Now, any young person who's any good has lots and lots of alternatives. And think of yourself, Kieran, at age 18 or 20, would you have sat round for 300 days for the Defence Force to get in touch with you? Now, Miles and the Labor government and the Liberals before them have sucked their thumbs about this problem and said we've got to speed up recruiting, but they've never done anything about it. We still go about with these ridiculous bureaucratic ways, and we don't appeal to the heroism of young people. We ought to be recruiting Pacific Islanders and folks from all of our allied militaries, Canada, Britain, and so on. You could do it if you wanted to, but neither the government wants to do it, nor is there any pressure on them, sadly, from the opposition.
Well, I think we might be talking about it over coming weeks with that G7 meeting looming. Greg, thank you, as always.